Hello there. Welcome to the Pensacola Network. How's everybody doing out there?
Does that mean we're live and in
We
color?
sure are. We sure are. And you're all over the screen here. Stay on the camera, please.
I
Yes.
can't tell. There we go. All right. Happy New Year, everybody. What did we miss? I know we missed some holidays. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Hanukkah. Was Ramadan in there?
Yes.
Merry
Christmas,
Christmas.
New Year's.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Hmm.
Happy Winter Solstice. Merry Christmas. Happy Three Kings Day. And Happy Martin Luther King Day.
Yes, yes. We're excited to get our first event for 2022 kicked off with the Pensacola Network. We have an exciting speaker for tonight, and so we're looking forward to hearing Priscilla. And
A young and exciting speaker.
okay, fantastic. Yeah, and Robin and I are actually broadcasting today from Bartow, Florida. We're down here celebrating my aunt's going away. She made it to 100, and I can almost remember that song saying 99 and a half just won't do. Got to make 100.
Yeah, as
So,
long as you don't sing it, baby, we good. And I'm
okay,
Patsy.
good, good. So it's really exciting to kind of be a part of the homegoing, and we're glad we're actually doing everything. We can broadcast the event over social media and the network here, so we can still make things happen.
Yeah, we've been talking about standing on some shoulders and Aunt Patsy being 100 years old. That's your dad's sister? Your dad's
Yes, last living sister. She's the
last.
last living sibling of
Yeah,
his. Yes.
yeah. I think, the legacy of our families is so amazing, especially when you see the longevity of someone like Aunt Patsy and the stories and the histories and her stories that she can tell and that will live on because she lived such a long and amazing life. So yeah, so we're very very grateful for her. For her. Yeah, 100 is amazing.
Yes,
Yeah,
I most certainly am. I'm excited to be here and to kind of be a part of everything. And yes, it's
yeah.
very touching.
Yeah, yeah, you get a chance to represent. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
it's a beautiful thing. And then especially now with the pandemic still going on, unfortunately, it's still good to be able to come together. And even though they're going to do it gravesides, it's going to be outdoors and taking all the precautions. It's still amazing to be able to see your kith and kin, as they say, to be able to reconnect and with family and meet new family. Oftentimes, as funerals, homegoing services give us an opportunity to meet new family. So,
Yes, yes, and that's most exactly right and correct. You definitely get a chance to meet more family members, and that's definitely a wonderful and beautiful thing.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
what's happening in Pensacola?
Oh, well, so, speaking of the pandemic, tomorrow, let's talk about straight up since the they're sending out, the administration is sending out testing kits to everyone, every American, every address, I guess is the way that they framed it. You can get four. Well, the city of Pensacola Movement for Change and Stay Safe Pensacola has partnered with Reverend John Powell and Truth for Youth to hand out testing kits to families tomorrow. So it's a great way to have this resource right in your house, and that's between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Down on the blocks in historic
Yeah.
Belmont de Villiers, and you can call Movement for Change for any additional information. I'm sure the city of Pensacola is closed by now, but Jerry and Carol McIntosh and that great team with Movement for Change has been an amazing job. Reverend Isaac Williams, and then of course our dear friend Reverend John Powell. So just really excited that they're providing this resource to the community.
Yes, and you mentioned Reverend Powell and the Truth for Youth. They're doing it in the Truth for Youth parking lot, I believe, and he's also doing a live broadcast tomorrow on WBPQ. Yeah, doing a fundraiser to kind of burn the mortgage for the Truth for Youth building.
Yeah, you just added some initials in there. WBQP TV.
Correct me there.
WRNE. One of
About
our
the
great
TV station, the TV
yeah,
station.
the WBQP TV. Yeah, Vernon
Yeah.
Watson. Yeah, yeah. That's a Reverend Powell has acquired that building some years ago, 10 or 15 years ago, and has just done an amazing job in shoring it up and strengthening it to turn it into the Belmont Cultural Center. And
Yeah.
so he is doing a fundraiser to burn, yes, just like you said, to burn the mortgage. So a great nonprofit, Truth for Youth, has been for almost 30 years in the community, helping with children and
Hmm.
just allowing children to be children and celebrating being children and youth and celebrating all that they can do. So, so that's it's a great opportunity for people to give and to give back. Uh, that the Powell family has really done amazing things, and then to put their roots again right there in Belmont DeVille, as Reverend Powell talks about growing up working at the funeral home there, working with the Bimbo family, and just really hanging around his family, hanging around the blocks. And so for him to come back and establish those roots there has been really amazing. So whatever support that our listening audience can give, we really do appreciate it. He's done amazing work. Him and they're all volunteers, and so whatever help that you can give. I think he's asking for $32 a person, but go to the truthforyouth.org website or their
Yes.
Facebook page. And
Yes, and you can donate through the Cash App and his or Venmo or PayPal.
good, 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 good. Yeah, yeah. So that's really, and speaking of people who have been giving back, the Robbins family has been devastated with the fire in the last few days, a tragic situation. Fortunately, no one was hurt. And so we're really grateful that Tia and Fred Robbins and their children were safe and sound. On the flip side of that, they had some substantial damage to their home, and I think there's an effort underway to ask for assistance, short-term assistance with them. And again, they've given back so much to their Mr. Robbins neighborhood to help student and student athletes understand the amazing
Plan B.
opportunities. Plan B, yeah, the amazing opportunities in sports, and so if you can again, that's through Fred and Tia Robbins. So and maybe we
Yeah,
can put those links in our chat.
yeah. There's a
Oh,
GoFundMe page set up, so
okay,
to be on the lookout for that. I heard that on the news to, today. So
good, good.
yeah, I think WRNE. I think I heard Mr. Hill say something about that this morning.
Good, good. And I think I did. Yeah, they were talking about. I think Reverend Powell was talking this morning on WRNE about that they had set up those cash opportunities that you talked about, Cash App and Venmo, but that they are also setting up a GoFundMe.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And I think they'll take checks, cash, uh, and a hug while you at it safely. So
Yes, yes, yes.
yeah.
Yeah, and I, I wanted to go ahead and thank our sponsors. I had the banner up at the beginning of the event here, and so there's just so many founding sponsors, corporate sponsors, and individual sponsors of the Pensacola Network that's been making this happen. So we started in 2013, and here we are, 2022. So we're in our ninth year and going, forward. Pretty soon we'll be in our 10th year, moving forward with these events to support community development through the help of our sponsors.
Wow. Does that mean on our 10th anniversary, you're going to give me more than 3 dances? We're going to
Three
dance
dances.
three, at least three or four.
Well, since it's the 10th anniversary, I can probably swing 10 minutes of dancing.
Oh. Don't push yourself now. Okay.
Yes, yes,
I'm gonna,
yes.
I'm gonna hold you to that now. 9.5 won't do. All right. All right. Remember,
Okay.
remind you of Aunt Patsy.
Yes,
Can't
yes.
go to 99.5 now. You got to give me 10 whole minutes.
Isn't it pretty fantastic that the community, in this time of divide, the Pensacola Network is offering people a chance to connect with each other and strengthen their relationship. That's been the goal and what we've been doing, and so and now the whole United States is trying to figure out how to connect with each other and learn about each other and kind of move forward as opposed to just not taking advantage of opportunities to connect and network and build relationships.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's the beautiful thing about the Pensacola network, and we couldn't do it without we couldn't obviously couldn't do it without our sponsors and partners, and then each person who comes, and again, just the last couple of years now virtually, but then also who come in person or who and then who brings someone else along. That's the way that we've been able to grow. And I know, Lord have mercy, it feels like we're giving ourselves pats on the back here. It's really
Well,
not. It's really, for me, it's really about people who are just sharing this information
oh
and
yeah,
helping us to grow. Yeah, it's like my friend Fern always says, each one teach one, each one reach one. That's exactly what's been happening. So yes, just very very grateful of each step, each ripple in this the last all, like you said, almost 10 years since 2013. Yeah.
yes, yes. So it's exciting to me to realize something you're doing is relevant. I attend networking events both virtually and in person, and even this year, beginning of this year, participating in events. It's been amazingly fruitful. When you have big plans for the year, you need to connect with people to kind of help you move forward with those plans. And if people are sharing job opportunities, people
Oh yeah.
are sharing all type of opportunities, and even like with our nonprofit, the Kukua Institute, uh, met a person, and that through that person we got some great opportunities, and it's just literally amazing. Just meeting people, connecting, and just moving forward, growing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's what
So,
it's about, and even we talk about our partners, the chambers who have been doing the networking, and I know we don't do shout outs out here, but I'm gonna give a shout out to Brian
of
Wire,
course, of course.
yeah, with the Gulf Coast Minority Chamber, who's done even through and outside of his chamber work, has done amazing things. So he's uh, doing some health recovery. So just keep him lifted up in prayer and positive thoughts. He's been and is such an asset to the community, and so we just wish him well as he recovers. So it's so important. And then I also want to lift up my dear friend and one of my godmothers in the community, Ann Stevens, made her transition. We were talking about people who have made their transition. I think we mentioned Jamie Scott, the famous Scott sisters who really fought the battle against the justice system for against injustice and for justice, and then settled in Pensacola. So she made her transition, and just want to lift Gladys up as she continues that work. Um, we've lost so many, and then you were just telling me that Linda uh, Green announced that her brother Alvin Wingate passed. Was that this morning or
I saw it on Facebook today, so I'm not exactly sure when it
Yeah,
happened.
and the Wingate family has been such. They've just the real estate holdings and land dealings and things like that. They've been such an asset. And Alvin worked in real estate, but he worked on some of the public commissions, city and county committees. and then the very famous Wingate Beach that was out on Big Lagoon. It really allowed for African Americans to have a place to recreate and to celebrate starting in the 1940s. Although they'd held that land since the 1880s,
Wow.
they turned it into a beach in the 1940s. Alvin's parents did, and they worked out there. So to Linda Green, and she's a strong Delta sister, to her sister Ethel Wingate Coleman, who keeps the family legacy going, and all of their siblings and family. We just want to keep letting them know that we're keeping them in our thoughts and prayers as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Alvin was definitely a great guy. I enjoyed the time I had the opportunity to spend some time with him.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm going to bring our uh, special guest speaker on the camera here. How are you doing, Priscilla?
Hi, hi, I'm good, Lloyd.
Hello, Priscilla.
Hello, Miss Rob.
Yeah.
I'm great. I was like, I'm coming, so I'm excited I made it. So.
Well, we are too. I keep mentioning your youth, and I know now you're an old married lady. I joke with you and say that. Say that. You
Yeah,
keep looking at me when I
yeah,
see you in person. But
pretty much. But hey, love is love.
that's
So
right.
it's beautiful. Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, we're excited to have you on here, and thank you for making the way, and excited that you're our first speaker for 2020.
Fantastic.
Yay. I
Yes,
feel honored.
yes,
I
Well,
mean,
we are.
yes. I'll let you all do it. You all have fun.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Thanks, babe.
thank you.
Well, as I said, I am so excited to have our special guest, Priscilla Sapp Kirkland, here. Priscilla, you see me clapping, but there's a whole bunch of other folks clapping in the virtual sphere. Happy New Year again to everybody. So this year, the last couple of years, we've been hearing about this great resignation or the big quit. That's where you have downsizing, hiring freezes, the health pandemic. All of that has kind of led to what economists are calling the great resignation or the big quit. But the other side of that is what many in the labor market have said, that it's provided them with an opportunity to do what they really want to do, what they feel led to do, what they're passionate about doing, even if it means sacrificing some of their current living standards or maybe some future economic earnings. And so I kind of wondered how people in the age range of 25 to my age, to 35, how are they affected and what motivates them to keep going? Our topic is resetting young lives, and so a lot of these people in this age range have done this sort of sea change, this drastic shift caused by, again, either the great resignation, the big quit, the downsizing, this pandemic that we've gone in. So I've asked one of my favorite people, you already know who she is, one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, to share her perspective with us. So please welcome gospel recording artist, banking industry professional, entrepreneur, nonprofit founder, and motivational speaker, Priscilla Sapp Kirkland.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't looking for all that, but thank you, Miss Robin. I'm just a vessel that's willing to be used. So, but just thank you for the opportunity, you and Mr. Lloyd. So hello to everyone. So yes, all the things Miss Robin said is valid, but I'm just a person that just love to serve people. But yeah, so just to jumping right into it, the quitting jobs and I guess generation, why we're quitting. I believe because of growth opportunities, Miss Robin. I don't think we have enough growth opportunities. A lot of times we don't feel valued in our workplace. We don't feel as though that we can excel to the next peak in our in our life. And I feel like that is definitely the number one thing Also, there is still a lot of discrimination that we don't talk about in the workplace. I know that's pretty hard to say or to bring up, but we don't talk about that. But it is a lot going on. Also, lack of flexibility. We work so much, and sometimes we don't feel like we have enough time for our families. So family matters, time matters, and I feel like that is pretty much some of the reasons why a lot of people are quitting their jobs and there's a downward towards hiring. So yes.
So when I asked you, I saw you over the summer at the end of the summer, and thank you so much for saying yes, because we were down at the Palafox Market, and I see your beautiful mother. Got to say hey to Miss Sapp. Mr. and Miss Sapp, I call her. It's like, you call it, we're like the same age. I call her Miss Sapp because I just love her and so much respect for her. And she was so excited about, she's like, hey, I don't know why she calls me Miss Robin. I guess because I call her Miss Sapp. Hey, Miss Robin. And so she was so excited and pulled us over, and you had this amazing opportunity or this new opportunity that you were sharing with people. I do want to get into that a little bit, but I talked about all these different things in your resume. So what in your history has given you balance? Because you talked about value, and I took some notes down: value, discrimination, this lack of flexibility. But what in your history has sort of given you balance? Because you were a motivational speaker. We were talking to, you were like, what, 20 years old, and you were a motivational speaker to these younger children, these youth.
Yes.
And so you've had this amazing platform for so long. What has given you balance in your history?
I guess learning my purpose. The reason why I say that is because my passion actually connected me to my purpose. My purpose is also to not only work hard and show that I'm a strong woman in business, but also showing people how to get there. So my balance is definitely spending time with family, of course, making some me time for me, not always joining every meeting that I am invited to, amen, but also just knowing when to stop, knowing when to know enough is enough. So my balance has definitely been just family and just knowing where I guess my husband will say, knowing your stopping point, knowing when you have done enough and your success may look different from others. I started at really, really young. And Miss Robert, I don't know if you know this about me, but I started at 18 in business. And if you hear my dog, I'm so sorry. She's barking. She wants mom love. So I started in 18. I was promoting different concerts, different engagements in the community. So I started as a promoter at 18. Behind the scenes, I worked 3 different jobs. I worked at Save-A-Lot grocery store. I worked at Dollar General, and I worked at Shoe Show. And so I did so much at a young age, and I just basically just enjoyed learning and enjoyed being under wisdom, and so I guess my balance was just knowing when enough was enough and when I hit my plateau, which is my own success.
So one of my dear friends, Dr. Ava Jones, says no is a complete sentence.
It is.
It goes to your balance deal, is knowing when to say. And I really do appreciate that you said that's a nugget. Your success may look different. Your end success may look different from someone else's. And yeah, kudos to Willie. I'm sorry I did not say something about Willie. You're a fabulous husband. Really, y'all are still newlyweds. You're gonna be newlyweds for 100 years. That's all right.
Wow. Okay. I will remember that one. Okay.
Yeah, that's really important. That's powerful to see, because oftentimes we sort of put, and my mirror is right here, that we put our success up against someone else's. I'm 25, so I should be doing this. I should be at this point. I'm 50. I should be at this point. I'm 70. I should be at this point. When that's their journey, it's not your journey. And for you to get that at such a young age is so powerful.
Yes, ma'am. And it's so easy, Miss Robin, to compare your success to others. I mean, think about it. You see it on TV, you see it on social media, you see it even when you're going to a grocery store. You see someone looking like, wow, what kind of car they're driving or whatever. You know, our younger generation, that's what's in their mind. But just because your success doesn't look like someone else's, that does not mean that you are not successful. I remember when I did one of my biggest accomplishments, I would say events at the Maritime Park. And so if you stay in Pensacola, Florida, Maritime Park, that is a large venue. Okay. So me and my husband and my parents, and we got together and we organized this event, and only 250 people showed up. And I, everyone was like, oh, I'm so sorry. You know, it wasn't a huge success. But in my mind, I'm like, that was successful for me. Like 250 people.
Yeah.
It's okay. I didn't have 3,000 like other, promoters at that time, but it was successful because I started.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I started something. So when you start something, that's a big step, So that's why I say that. So I hope it encourages someone.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're going to give some other nuggets. I'm not setting you up, but I just know it because I know you. But that really is not measuring yourself against someone else. Is measuring yourself against your own goals. So the goals that you set, because their goals may move, but yours, if you have those written and planned out, as you were saying, then that's a fantastic accomplishment. Yeah. Yeah. So what made you, we were talking about, resetting young minds. And again, I'm going to I say young between 25 and 35, but I think that you're, forgive my French here, I think that you're preaching to a whole bunch of folks, regardless of age. Again, when I saw you at the end of the summer last year, you had your Inner Beauty skincare line. And so we were talking about that. What made you reset to move into skincare? I know you had another company, but what made you move into skincare? What was going on in your life that made you move there?
Yes,
Into
ma'am.
that. Mm-hmm.
Into that, yes, ma'am. So it's actually two companies. There is one that's called Inner Beauty by GS, which is a boutique. And then the second one is called Skin and Glory Sweet Treats, which is the skincare line that you just said, Ms. Robin. And so what really transitioned into the skincare world is because I was dealing with my own skincare issues. It was personal to me. And I knew that I was not the only woman in this world that was dealing with buying 7 or 8 different skincare lines, and it just didn't work. So it was more of a personal issue, inside of myself, and I wanted to correct it. And so I went to esthetician school for 6 months. So I am licensed in it, and I really enjoy seeing people's skin go from breakouts to just beautiful, amazing skin without makeup. And I seen the need of, eczema, psoriasis. I mean, so many other issues people deal with on a basis, but they don't know exactly how to correct it. So it was more of a personal issue. And then I just kind of say, hey, let me spread it with the world.
So tell them. I want you to tell them about your line, because you have some really neat things. Because I thought it was food. So it is organic, but I thought it was food when I saw it. It's so cool. But I remember Alicia Keys had an article, and I cannot remember the magazine. But she had an article about why she was reducing her wearing of makeup, and she said she still loves makeup, and likes what it does for her, but she said she was hiding some skin issues and things like that, and some confidence things, and so she wanted to correct those before she accentuated anything. So when you were saying that just reminded me that sometimes we use makeup to cover things that we need to correct.
Absolutely. And that's the whole reason why I started organic skincare. A lot of people don't understand what you put on your skin can go inside internal organs. Like, this is serious. So we need to know exactly what we're putting on our skin. It actually can cause depression. Believe it or not, certain chemicals can cause depression and it can stop us from succeeding in our success. So it's so many reasons why. I mean, I dealt with hyperpigmentation. For those who know what that is, it's just breakouts that just happen, dark marks that stay for years, and you just don't know how to get rid of them. And so I just really wanted to I really wanted to share some real amazing organic ingredients that will help people. So like this one I had to bring, Miss Robin. So this one is the strawberry shortcake. It smells like strawberry shortcake for sure. And it has so much jojoba oil, coconut oil, shea butter that comes from a tree, as people know is a nut. And so there's so many amazing, also educational, opportunities as well. So I'm excited because pretty soon, Miss Robin, we're going to have young girls, sell these organic, ingredients as well. So I'm really excited about it.
And as we talk about this whole idea of resetting, sometimes it's like you said earlier, your passion and your purpose really align, and then it provides you with this opportunity. So you saw something in you that you wanted to tweak, and then it provided this opportunity for, what is it the guy says? He says purpose, people, and profit. I think that's what he says, or process, people, and profit. Yeah, process, people, and profit, that you really have to have all three of those to be successful in business. And so how you took that to kind of move. So you are, as I mentioned, you're you've been in banking profession almost a decade. Lord have mercy. I cannot believe.
Yes, ma'am. And it's oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Miss Robin.
No. Go ahead.
I was like, yes, it's been 8 years. I mean, oh my goodness. You really have to do something with your time. You know what I mean? Like, you really have to do something with your time. Use your job as a tool. My always tell me, use it as a tool to help you with any other businesses that you have outside. And I know in my generation, they feel as though just quit all your jobs and just go out in business. I love the attitude behind it, but some of that is not always wisdom. Amen. So sometimes you have to keep that circular job so that it can, help you build what you're trying to build outside of that world. So, so it's been 8 years. I can't believe it.
Yeah, it was. I'm going to do some quoting tonight, and I'll be quoting you too. From the movie The Great Debaters, he says, "Do what you have to do." One of the professors said, "Do what you have to do so you can do what you want to do."
That's
do what
right.
you have to do so you can do what you want to do. So how you've made these? We talked about your resume, and you've made these changes. What keeps you motivated? I think I mentioned when we were talking a couple of hours ago that Les Brown talks about when you get to the edge of a cliff and you're trying to make a decision, that you jump and fly, so that there's still some action behind that. But for a lot of people, a lot of us, that's scary to make these sort of sea changes, these kind of, you're going along, you're floating along, and then here comes this big wave of whatever, a pandemic, or a death, or a job that's no longer there, or a lifestyle change, or something like that. What keeps you sort of, we talked about the balance, what keeps you kind of balanced and as you're making these changes? What do you say to young people as they're making those changes, or these very could be very stressful things?
Yeah, remember your why. Like really remember your WHY. Remember why you're doing this. What motivates me is my nieces. My nieces and nephew, I have a lot of them. And they motivate me. They say, Auntie, what are you doing today? Well, I'm making whip butter, or I'm doing this. And I think about the generation behind me. Like me and Miss Robin, we're not going to be here always, and I think about is my next generation going to be okay? Like, what am I doing now to prepare them for the future? And my nieces, I mean, they keep me, and if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, Auntie, shouldn't you be working? You know, but they really keep me motivated. They keep their eyes on me at all times, and they're looking even when I think they're not. So really, it's just the community or the generation that's coming after me is what keeps me motivated.
Remember when we were 2 years old? Well, somebody remembers when we were 2 years old, and they, you know, they said, oh, they're in their terrible twos because they're always going to ask that question, why? Perhaps it is sort of regurgitating that memory, if you will, of that. That's powerful to remember your why. Yeah. And for those who are coming after you, another nugget, another another nugget. So,
Yes,
so you are in this, I mentioned between 25 and 35, and you talked about this idea where people are feeling not valued, where they're in, which discrimination I think is certainly a part of that, this active in undervaluing or disvaluing someone, and then the lack of flexibility. So I want to move into that value piece, because that's really important to me. How do you share with people with I'll say youth, how do you share how they can see their value or ensure that they know that they are valuable?
well, there's a lot going to value is really how they see themselves. You know, I always ask them, how do you see yourself? I know how I see you. I think you're awesome and I think you're wonderful, but how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself successful? You know, do you think that you're worthy? Do you know that you're more important than, I mean, you're just important as anyone else with millions of dollars. You know, I get back to the basics, the simple questions that even us as grown-ups, we need to ask ourselves, you know, how do we see ourselves? And don't compare. I speak to the youth very often about, you know, making sure, you know, you take yourself out of the box. No matter what circumstance that you're in, your mind can put you in a box. I hear like in one, I want to go backwards a little bit, Miss Robin. See, what motivated me when I was 18 was my teachers used to tell me all the time, well, you couldn't do that. You can't do this and you can't do that at a very young age. And I was like, you know what, my motivation, I'm going to show them that I can and that I will do it. And so moving into this, you know, in my 30s now, I'm looking back and it's like, wow, I had to look inside and see how I felt about myself and see my value, my purpose, my reason, my why, and then I can help others. And I always tell my kids is, what is your philosophy of your life? What does philosophy mean to you? Because your philosophy is what? Now is your actions, or should I say is your attitude, how you look at yourself. It moves from attitude to your actions, and then your actions to your life. So every choice that you make, even how you look at yourself, matters. And so that's what I really just speak to the youth about.
I don't say this, but I'm about to say, child, we having a life class right now. We having one of those Oprah Winfrey in the woods with two chairs, how they get that carpet rug out there and those two chairs in the woods kind of. I think we may need to change some of these life classes. This is amazing.
But it is true, right, Ms. Robin? Like your philosophy, how are you viewing life? What do you see yourself? Do you see yourself outside of your circumstance? Like it doesn't matter if May, June, Jupiter, whoever these people don't believe in you, but do you believe in yourself? Mm-hmm. And growing up, I love Disney growing up. I don't know who all love Disney still, but you don't have to raise your hand. But I love Disney because they made it an experience. Every time you watch the movie, it was an experience. And we could dream. And that dream became a reality. And they showed us the way. I know I'm going kindergarten, but I have to go there. Mm-hmm. And now I feel like our youth is losing that dream, that believing in themselves that anything is possible. They're losing that. And I think because a lot of people are not backing them up and saying, you can do this. You can succeed. You have all the tools right in your hand. You don't need and that's another thing. You don't need everything you think that you need in life.
Yeah.
You don't need everything you think you need. For example, we're doing this awesome show that I'm so honored to be a part of. But some people think they need lights. Some people think they need all of these things, a stage. They think they need all these things, but you don't need everything that you think that you need. Everything is already in the palm of your hand. All you have to do is believe.
Our pastor used to say, God rest his soul, our pastor used to say that everything you need is within you. Everything you need is I'm gonna call Bernard Yates' name, rest in peace. Everything you need is within you. So you're right, it's pulling that out, and we think that we need these external things and I think that goes back to what you were talking about, your value, or putting yourself against someone else. I don't know who else is getting this, but this is like what they call those master classes. This is like a master class for me, seriously. And so it's seeing putting your mirror there and not looking at somebody else's mirror, not putting, keep looking back, see who's gaining on you. Yeah, but running your own race. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when you run your race, it's how you're running your race. Are you running your race, sloppy, as people may say, just nonchalant, just running it because you just want to get to the finish line? But are you running your race right? Meaning, are you finishing with all your might? Or are you just running it to show people or get likes or loves or shares on social media? Like, it's not even about that. It is not. It's going to come when it should come, because God is going to allow those things to happen. But you don't have to compare. You don't have to be motivated by those things as likes and loves. Motivate yourself, because your reason, your why. Amen. So yeah,
powerful. So I want to go. You touched on it a bit, in just that your last comment. Sometimes we see, as we're looking at these things, we see these ugly things. Sometimes they're inside of us. Sometimes they're outside, trying to make that make an influence on us. How do you do this? I see that, Carlos. Comparison is the thief of joy. Wow, that's
a nugget.
This is a master class here. How do you deal with those ugly things that come up often within ourselves that arise up? Because those things are real. That they happen. Not that they're real, that they're true, but that they're real, that they happen. These thoughts and as you're on this journey.
Yes, ma'am. I tackle them head on. When I see something, jealousy can creep up on anyone. I don't care how successful you are and how your life may be perfect to you, or however, but when I see it, I deal with that issue. I deal with that problem. I don't just sweep it under the rug, as people may say, and get back to it later, because if you come back later, you may have triple issues. And it can stop you from getting to where God wants you to be. So really, Miss Robin, I deal with it. If it arises and it comes about, I deal with it. I get a mentor. I definitely pray. That's number one. I know you told me not to preach, but I pray definitely. And I spread the gospel. And I do the self-talk. In college, they taught us about self-talk, how important it is to self-talk and talk to yourself. And I used to do it walking around. People thought I was a little, crazy. So I started to do it in my home and in the mirror. And I began to say, Priscilla, you're dealing with this right now. Now let's tackle it in Jesus' name. Let's tackle it and see what we can do about this and move on. So I think just by tackling it and not just allowing it to linger.
Yeah.
So that's how I dealt with it.
It's and I think self-talk is a wonderful thing. I was having a talk with Lloyd a few days ago about this, about the whole mental health, really, and how in our lives that we can do better about getting things up and out. And so that they don't fester, even things, if I'm dealing with something, not letting it fester until a particular time, just like you, I appreciate that. And that really was for me, is getting that, facing it and getting it up and out. Sometimes we want to be nice, not only to ourselves, we want to be nice to other people too. And I think you can do that in such a loving way. Like you said, just to tackle it, praying about it, being
Yes.
led and love to do it, and that ain't preaching, that's the truth, honey. That's
I was trying. I was like, okay, here we go. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
This has been absolutely fantastic. And so I do want to, as we close, because I know there are probably some questions, and I think people have had some comments. I want to make sure. So what advice, and I wrote this question down, what advice would you give to someone to help them be motivated to reset their life? And I know we're talking about, resetting the youth, because that's who you've been focusing on, but regardless of age, what advice would you give to someone? You've given some nuggets already, amazing nuggets. What piece of advice would you want to leave with someone in resetting their lives?
There's a lot of nuggets, because I know that it's not easy. I know that people talk about the good things, but they don't talk about the challenging moments. And I think that we need to be more transparent with people so they'll understand that they're not alone. And I do want to encourage someone that you're not alone in what you're dealing with. If it's trying to get your business up and running, you're not the only one that's dealing with that struggle, but I do want to leave these nuggets. Little things matter in life. Little things that you do, it really does matter, because simple action repeats itself. It repeats itself. It repeats itself. So whatever you do, no matter how small, it does matter when you get to that successful story. Attitude is everything. I don't know how to emphasize. Mom, are you there? Attitude is everything.
Love that.
Hello to my husband, my dad. Attitude is everything.
Everything, yeah.
And my brothers. But I just want to say, attitude is everything. See, people can sense your attitude before you even open your mouth. People know if you really care and if you're really just about money or not. People know. So definitely your attitude matters. Also use the moment that you're in. Enjoy your moments that you're in. You may never get that moment again, but enjoy those moments. Like today, I'm going to enjoy this moment with Miss Robin, because it is a pleasure. It's an honor to be here. And I'm going to enjoy this moment. No matter what happens after this, I'm going to enjoy this moment. Also, everything starts with a small step. So, like Rosa Parks, to me, that's a huge step what she did with the bus. But I'm just saying it opened many doors because she stepped out, and it was a step. So you have to step out in order to make a difference. And another one, there's no such thing as failure. I say that because every failure that you assume that you're having is actually a development opportunity, because you learn something from that failure, right? So it's not really a failure. It's more like, hey, I learned something. Let's move on. Habits are powerful. If you're working for someone and you're like, I don't feel like getting up, and dealing with this. Hey, you need to build your own habits. You go by your employer's schedule. So why not have a schedule for yourself? Like really have a schedule for yourself so you can get to where God wants you to be. Next is, you're going to always learn. What's one of my favorite quotes is, let me make sure I have it right. It says, the day you stop learning is the day you stop growing. You have to continue to learn. No matter how old, I don't care if you're 60 or if you're 20 years old, continue to learn. Next is, make your dreams come true. Don't just say it. Don't just post about it. Don't just try to get all the fame and the light on you, but you're not doing the work behind closed doors. So definitely be about it. Do it. And then the last one is one of my favorite quotes. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start in order to be great.
Oh,
A lot of people, and this has been my favorite quote for 10 plus years, and it's so powerful because a lot of people feel like you have to be a certain way or have things all together and you have to be most perfect, whatever, and such, services or products or whatever you're selling. But you have to do something in order to be great. You have to do it no matter how small it is, no matter if you're getting claps or not. You must move forward because guess what? It's not about you. It's about people that's behind you.
You don't have to say that one again, please.
Yeah, you don't have to be great to start.
Okay.
But you have to start to be great.
And that goes right back. I can see that thread going right back to your thing, to your nugget about small steps. So just that, even a small step is a movement towards being great. You're great, not someone else's great.
That's right.
You're great. Sister. You have been teaching today. This is, I love how the spirit moves. I love what they always say, blessings delayed aren't blessings denied. So even when we were having this conversation I had to go back and look at my notes last September, and you said yes, to draw a string to what that would do for us today is so powerful. And I can see the way that the spirit allowed that to build and to move and to use that in your life. And so just from a whole bunch of people who, as you said, like your nieces and nephews who are watching you, a whole bunch of people in the community who have been watching your amazing evolution and growth and at all times. And I think this is a huge testament to both your parents and to that inner fortitude that you have. At all times, as you are pulling from others, you are continuously reaching back and giving. And so when I, again, thought about what we should talk about, this whole idea of resetting young people's lives, I've seen that in yours. And so I just want to thank you for being a testament to so many others and encouraging us. So you have set our year in order. So now it is, like you said, up to us to put those to check our attitudes and to put our attitudes into action, and then to really evaluate our life so our own philosophy will be valued, internally valued, and so then we can keep moving. Yeah, thank you so very much. I don't know if we posted. I hope we posted your website, and I know that has your contact information. And oh, yep, he did it right there. Good. Put the whole thing up there. Wow.
Yes. Okay. All right. That's pretty long, but I'm very honored, and I just want to say my faith is what grounds me. My faith in God, it grounds me. Without Jesus, I can really say, honestly, I would not be in the mindset I am in today. So I pray that people will continue to move forward and don't quit, and remember your purpose, behind those down days. It's going to bring you up. Your faith is going to lift you up when you can't lift yourself. And so I just want to encourage someone just to keep going, and God sees you. He really does.
Yeah. Thank you. This is so fantastic. And I know this is going to be one of those shows that people hit the rewind button on. Now, what did she say? Let me write that down. And so I'm grateful to Lloyd for making sure that this is recorded, to Chris Hendricks, and then later to Vernon Watson as it airs on WBQP TV. And for everyone who shares this on Facebook, this is a keeper. Priscilla Sapp Kirkland has given us so many jewels, and so thank you again, Priscilla, for just setting the record straight for who we are and for what we can do on this plane. So thank you so much. I'm clapping again.
Thank you, Ms. Robin. And I thank you too for just creating. And Ms. Robin, you probably know this. I look up to you. I've been looking up to you for years. And I know it's not really all about this, but I just wanted to say that because what you do in public it matters, and these programs like this matter. So thank you for just your heart for people, and for fighting for all those things that people sweep under the rug. And I appreciate you. I really do appreciate you. And I pray that God continue to bless you and many more. So yeah.
Thank you, Lord, and are grateful to you, and grateful to you and Willie. We're grateful to you. I'm just gonna say that Willie ain't no love lost. I'm just saying. It's my sister. Thank you
You're
so
having
much.
too
So
much
hang on.
fun.
Let's see if we have. Well, this is what this does. This is what this sister does for me. I tell her all the time. So
Yeah.
I saw we had comments and things like that. We appreciate those. I think Carlos, a couple of those popped up.
Yes.
Those nuggets. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a question. So, like, and when you think about young people that in high school and in their early 20s, and, over the past couple of years, we've been going through COVID and then all the racial divide. What would be your recommendation for those young people to embrace all the opportunity that exists, that still exists, because you can get down and out with all the different things going on in the world.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, how to embrace the opportunity. First, we have to make sure our mind is open to embrace those things. We can have empowerment events every week for the youth, but if their mindsets are not willing to receive it, then we're pretty much not wasting time. We're not, but it's just they're not really evolving and want to listen. And I think that they would have to open their mind, and listen to wisdom. Some younger people feel as I know all that. I get that. I don't need no one to impart wisdom, but it's very important for them to listen. But also, it's important for the older generation to make time to be available, so that we can show them the next steps on how to get to where we are today. So yes,
Great. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Mhm.
Success is a two-edged sword, huh? I like that. Yeah. So they have to be open, but then also the older generation has to sort of make way. Yeah.
Right.
Powerful. Yeah.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, if anyone else, Priscilla has we provided contact information, and check out her website. We put her email up there, and her nonprofit information, and you'll see her around the community. And I'm just going to put it out there. You've heard her here. Use her as a motivational speaker especially for the youth, but also for these diverse audiences too. So it's not just women or African American women, or it's people need to see and hear. So I invite you to invite her to come and share. Yeah.
Thank
All right.
you.
Yeah.
So we want to thank all the audience out there and all the folks out in the social media. And we definitely appreciate you, Priscilla, for being here and motivating us to get the year off to a great start.
I'm excited.
And I'm telling people, when we come back in person, if you get another invitation, don't say nothing to me, okay? Just say, wasn't I on there? I don't care. This is great being virtual, and it's something about being in person and being able to gain wisdom and touch people. And,
Yeah, I most definitely agree with that those personal connections. And we were hoping to get this year started off in person, but we thought it would be safe. And I'm not sure how things are going to look on next month, but hopefully they'll look a lot better. And so we can maybe get back in person. But we'll play it by ear. We should know something within a couple of weeks, to know how this COVID thing is the trend going now. And to me, what I've seen in the past month or so, it's just amazing. Like, with this COVID thing, so many relatives, all my children, cousins, everybody's getting COVID, and thank God they're they're
Safe.
doing well, but some people are not doing well with it, and so it's I guess what I'm trying to say, I don't want to be responsible for anybody losing a loved one or suffering or whatever from that perspective. Yes.
Understand. Yeah.
Well,
All
we look
right.
forward to seeing y'all in February, whatever
Yes.
that's going to look like. It may be virtual, it may be in person. We're not sure, but again, thank you so much for being a part of this journey, especially these last few years. And as Priscilla has done for us, being an encourager to someone, just try to be an encourager to someone and to lift someone up.
Yes.
It takes some beautiful energy to be able to do that, and that will get repaid back. You're not doing it because it'll get repaid, but it will get repaid back to you. So we're just so grateful to Priscilla for lifting and encouraging us up and setting the stage for 2022. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Priscilla.
Thank you. I look back.
Thank
I look
you.
forward to coming back soon. Thank
Thank
All
y'all.
right. All right. Thank you all. Goodbye, everyone, and we'll see you all next month.
Bye.
Bye.